students. How are you today?
Hello, we are good.
Thank you. Today our topic is about fairy tale Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. And now I will introduce you today new vocabulary related to the adventure of Gulliver's Travels and to practice listening and speaking skills. And you will learn soft skills. For example, a meaningful exploration of the novel theme, historical context, and so on. Let's introduce our author of this fairy tale. Fascinating facts about Jonathan Swift. So, who is Jonathan Swift? Jonathan Swift is an Anglo-Irish author, essayist, writer, and Swift is remembered for works such as A Tale of Two, An Argument Against Abolishing Christianity, Gulliver's Travels, and A Modest Proposal. So, Swift's most famous novel is Gulliver's Travels. Also, the word Lilliput was invented by Swift in Gulliver's Travels and was included in the English vocabulary fund.
Oh, very interesting.
Yes. And let's move to the tasks.
So now we're gonna do some warm-up activity. We have here a picture. Now, what can you see from the picture?
Big man.
Big man also.
He's surrounded by Lilliputians.
Lilliputians, okay.
People around him are tiny and they are on the boat.
They are on the boat, okay. How do you think from his clothes, from its boat, is it our 21st century picture? No, it's like old time, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we see that this man has a little bag around his shoulder, and here we have some stuffs. Now I want you to guess which stuffs he owns, like which stuffs can be here in his bag. So Adiya, how do you think? We have here lipstick, knife, map, watch, phone, and handphones. First up, his stuff.
I think map.
Map. Okay, old map.
I think phone is...
Phone. No, we say that it's picture from all time. Do you have phone in all time?
No.
No. So how do you think? What is it?
Then maybe watch.
Watch. Okay, right. Adiya?
Knife.
Knife. Right. Okay. Now we're gonna do let's task.
And now let's move on our reading task. So the first you should follow this clip. Then we should try to assemble our puzzle together for 2 minutes. Okay? Is it enough for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Good job. We finished.
Now it's the final result of our puzzle, and let's try to answer these questions together. Okay, the first question: what do you see in this puzzle?
The Gulliver.
The man is very unique.
Yes.
Nice. And the little city. And the Lilliputians.
Yes, and he stepped towards the castle, and he has.
Okay, next question. Can you describe the man?
He's big.
He has long hair
He has yellow shirt,
and hat.
and he's like middle-aged.
And the last question: how do you think this fairy tale is about?
About this man.
About this man.
People around him.
About adventures of this man.
About the castle and the city.
Maybe
About his traveling with these very tiny people.
About his adventures in this world.
maybe he's helping or he's attacking it.
Yes.
Thank you guys, and let's move on to the next test.
Now, children, we are going to learn very fascinating new words about our topic. Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this task. Let's check these new words with their definition. Let's start from the easiest one. Okay, tiny. For example, mouse is tiny. Elvira, how do you think, what is the definition of tiny?
Maybe very small because mouse is small.
Yes, we can say that mouse is small and also mouse is tiny, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Gigantic. For example, Gulliver is gigantic. Adiya, what do you think? Where is the definition of gigantic?
Idea, there is answer.
Maybe very great size.
Yes. Island means, for example, children, we have island Madagascar.
Island, this one, a piece of land surrounded by water.
Yes, Elvira, you are right. And now, traveler. Adiya, what do you think?
I think it's the person who is traveling, who often travels.
Yes, you are right. Now, children, let's check our new words. Now, children, repeat after me. Gigantic.
Gigantic.
It means very great size or extent, huge or enormous. Elvira, can you give me an example for gigantic?
I have gigantic problem.
Okay, good. Tiny.
Tiny.
It means very small. Adiya, can you give me an example for this?
For example, the mouse is tiny.
Okay, good. Island.
Island.
It means a piece of land surrounded by water. Traveler.
Traveler.
It means a person who is traveling or who often travels. Okay, let's move on to the next task.
Chapter 9 Gulliver's Travels via the Palace.
Not long after the Blefuscan officers visited me, I had an opportunity to help the king of Lilliput. About midnight one night, people screaming outside my house woke me up. They were frantic, and I could not understand what they were shouting. Suddenly, some palace officers arrived.
Hurry!
One of them cried.
You must come with us. It's emergency. The palace is on fire.
Of course, I replied and rushed to get dressed. Jump into my hand. I'll carry you. Also that we'll get there quickly. We hurried to the palace. The fire had started by accident in the room of one of the queen's maids. A burning candle had fallen over and some curtains caught on fire. When we arrived, fire was out of control. Many people were trying to put it out. 2 ladders were leading up against the castle walls near the open windows of the maid's room. A man was at the top of each ladder. People were passing buckets of water up to those men. The men threw water on through flames, but it all did not do much good. The Lilliputian buckets were tiny, held very little water. As each man passed, the fire burned more strongly.
The fire spread to another room. The whole place might burn down,
shouted another one. A feeling in my body suddenly gave me an idea. I wanted to drink water, and the palace of the Lilliputians was smaller than me, so I can take water in my mouth and throw it into the fire. Stand back, I shouted to them. I aimed through the open windows of the fire. Soon the fire was out.
Hooray! 3 cheer for the enormous one. He has saved the palace.
The emergency was over, so I went back to my house. I was happy that I had been able to put out the fire, but I was worried that the king would not like the way I had done it. The king had a law about people doing what I had done right outside the palace. The next day, the king sent me a message. It says, Enormous one, your behavior was against the law. I realized through that there was no other way to put out the fire. So I will excuse your bad behavior, just this once. I am grateful that you saved my palace. The queen was not as understanding as the king. My behavior disgusted her. She told everyone she would not allow the burnt part of the
I will never go into those rooms again. I will never forgive the giant. He has no manners.
Okay, did you like the story?
Yes.
Okay, it's very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, now we're gonna check our task. First, Amina, I was happy that I had been able to put out the fire. Who said this?
I guess Gulliver,
Gulliver. Why?
because he helped Lilliputians.
Okay, right. I will never go into those rooms again. Who said this idea?
I think the queen,
Why?
because she was angry about his actions.
Right. And last one, I will excuse your bad behavior. Who said that?
King,
Him. Why?
because he has a law for behavior of Gulliver, but he decided to
Help him. Yes. Right. Good. Okay. Now we're gonna do some tasks. I'm gonna play you some part of the Gulliver story. It's about 3 minutes. You're gonna listen, and while you are listening, you're gonna do this task in your notebooks. What is the task? You need to match characters with their phrases. So you need to hear carefully and do this. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Super.
And now I want to ask you, what did this chapter teach you? Answer please one by one with one word, just one word. Anna?
Impact.
Elvira?
Help.
And?
Empathy.
Elvira?
Friendship.
And?
Attitude.
That's enough. Okay, thank you. And now let's discuss the fairy tale and give answers for these questions. The first questions, Amina, can you repeat please?
What happened in this chapter? There was a fire in the king's maid, and Gulliver decided to help him by filling his mouth with water, but then king decided to not to enter these rooms because of Gulliver's behavior. And she thought that it's disgusting. And she thought also that Gulliver has no manners.
But what did the king?
He excused Gulliver because he was very thankful for him.
The second question, Elvira, can you repeat?
How do you think explains reaction to Gulliver's action? Why?
And give the answer please.
I think no, because Gullivers help their people. If there's no Gulliver, they will just fire everywhere, and he helped us as he could help. And I don't know why she acting like that, because he's a good person, because he wants to help you. He could just like sleep, not help, just like, oh, do it by yourselves, like this. And I don't think that she's acting like her reaction is bad.
Very good, Elvira. And now for home task, you should write an essay using new words. New words from our lesson. For example, words traveler, tiny, enormous, and so on. The essay, if you were Gulliver, what would you do? Help or reject the Lilliputians?
What is reject?
Reject means that if he wouldn't help them.
Like he would just sleep?
Yes.
Like this? Okay.
Is it
Very interesting topic.
Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you. It was very interesting lesson. Thank you, teacher. Goodbye.
Bye.